Today I wanted to go over how to use 3 different props we normally associate with yoga to help strengthen our Pilates practice. So the first one I want to use is our block. It's ideal to have a block that's a little bit lighter and not one of the cork blocks. The cork block will work, but you'll have to work a little bit harder. So I typically use this when I'm helping people with their Pilates tabletop. In Pilates tabletop, we come to our back, our knees go right over our hips, and then our heels go straight out from there, trying to make a right angle with our legs. Sometimes I see people struggling with this, reaching back here, letting their legs come out, knees pulling in. The block comes between the knees here, slight pressure that helps to turn the abs on, press the lower back down. Toes can be flexed out or pointed. I like to do them flexed out here. Feels like it gives me a little extra stretch, turns the backs of my legs on a little bit more. And then these are technically called pre-Pilates exercises, but I think they're very helpful for your alignment. Start by inhaling and pressing the heels forward just a few inches, feeling the tailbone come down on the mat, feeling the lower abs turn on. Then you exhale, pull the knees back just a few inches. Inhale, exhale. Inhale forward, exhale back. One more, inhale forward, exhale back. Block and stay between the knees. Knees keep squeezing in. Now we work on the stabilizing muscles. Inhale with your hands down. Exhale, bring your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, pull the ribs in. Try not to let the arms pull the spine off the mat. We keep pulling down. Your hands might not touch the floor behind you. Try not to let the knees move. Inhale down, exhale back. You can make it harder by moving faster. My abs are working really hard right now. It might not look like it, to try not to let my spine move. I'm still pulling my knees in towards the block. It's giving me a bit of a goal and helping to force me to turn on my midline, the invisible zipper that goes up and down your body. Let's do one more. And then knees can come in. You can take a breath here. One more exercise I like to do here with the block is a bit of a twist. Arms go out to the side, backs of the hands on the floor. They can be in a cactus or into a T. Inhale, center. Then exhale, drop both knees over to the left. Try to keep the knees stacked on the block. You're gonna feel an extra stretch through the spine. You might not be able to get your knees to the floor, that's okay, but try to keep your knees in line so that we're not letting our hips slide behind or in front of each other. I keep my knees stacked. And come back to center on an inhale. Exhale, twist to the other side. One more time, back in. Exhaling to the left. Inhaling center. Exhaling to the right. Pull the knees in. The block can also be nice to use for our glute bridge. I find that sometimes when people come up into glute bridge, their knees rock out to the side a little bit. So you might be able to see it better from here. We don't want our knees to come out to the side or knock in. We want them to be even. So pressing down on the block just a little bit, I try to walk my heels right under my knees. Keep squeezing on the block as I lift up, and I keep one flat line from my knees to my chest. There's no back bend here. I'm pulling the ribs in, squeezing the block, turning my inner thighs and my glutes on. And then I articulate down. You can do that one more time. Lifting up, squeezing the block, pulling the ribs in, and articulating down here. So those are a few ways you can use your yoga block to strengthen your Pilates practice. Another prop I really like to use, I do this in yoga classes and in Pilates classes, but I find that this can mimic the straps that we use on the reformer and the tower a little bit and help us get some nice stretches in. So typically when I teach with this strap for the legs, we come onto our back, both legs out long. We'll start on our right side. I'm going to pull my right knee into my chest and start to roll out the right ankle. Switch directions. One of the most important things during this stretching is what's happening with the bottom leg. My left knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. My left toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. I'm trying not to blow out my quad or squeeze the muscles in the front of the leg too much, but I'm gently pressing my hamstring down and pulling my left hip back. I'll take my strap for my three-way stretch, starting with it over the ball of the foot, just pulling the leg in. I don't recommend putting it right in the middle of the arch. I just find that that's not quite so comfortable. I like it on the ball of the foot, but it's kind of up to you. Just make sure you're not doing anything to stress any of the joints out. Now, I'm feeling this a lot in my right hamstring, but what I want to pay attention to is my left hip one more time. I even have people keep one hand on that hip. Make sure that it's not lifting up, wiggling, and then watch what's happening with your bottom toes. Are they turning out? Can you keep them pointed up at the ceiling? Then I go into the second part of our three-way stretch. My left hand can come out as a counterbalance, and I pull my right leg out to the side. This is one where you might let your left hip reach up. I would ask you to pull that left hip down and then find some stability through your abs here. So finding pelvic stability, pulling the left hip back as you reach the right leg away. This might be a lot. Your leg might be here. That's fine as long as you're feeling the stretch. And then we have this strap here to prevent ourselves from moving outside of a healthy range of motion for us. Come back through center, and now one more stretch. This is the hardest one, I think, to keep your bottom leg stable. Think about keeping that left knee up, left hip stable. You're gonna take the straps into the left hand, right arm goes out, cross the right leg over the left side of the body. Keep your left toes pointing up at the ceiling, trying to really feel that stretch in the outer right hip. Try to avoid the temptation to roll onto the side of the left hip. Now you're just stretching your back, your spine. But you want to keep it into the leg, the hip, the IT band. Come back up through center. Pull the knee in and shake it out. And then you would switch and do it on the left side. All right, one more prop is our blanket. You don't often see this in your Pilates class, but it can be really helpful when you're starting to learn your roll-up. So let me show you why. Our roll-up starts with our legs out long and together. We can start from a seated position or a position lying down. Arms are forward, shoulders are soft. I like to start people here starting to learn their C curve. So you pull your ribs in, you reach your hands forward, pushing the mid-spine out, turning the abs on. I'm gonna gaze down at my belly and come down slowly, one bone at a time, until I'm all the way on my back. I inhale here, and I exhale to come all the way back up. Sometimes when we're trying to get up, this will happen. It's hard to keep your heels grounded. If that happens to you, grab your blanket, roll it up, put it just behind your bottom, stretch your arms out long, inhale, pull the ribs in. You're gonna exhale over the blanket onto your back, coming into a bit of extension, a little bit of a back bend. Then inhale here, exhale, chin comes to the chest. We peel our spine off the mat with a little extra support, and hopefully you made it up without your heels coming up. Relax your arms down, and that's how you use your blanket to help support your roll-up. You can also use a small cushion anything that's going to give you a little bit of soft support there.